The draft is over. It's been an awful lot of fun. But now we have to figure out where we think the winners and the less than winners lie. Pete Prisco, Bryant McFadden, Ryan Wilson. Pete, I'll start with you. I say winners, you say what?
Baltimore Ravens knocked it out of the park from start to finish. Their first 4 picks were talked about as potential first-round picks. Kyle Hamilton, I didn't love him as much as many others did, but he's still a really good player, and it never ended. They draft tight ends. They come around. The whole entire draft is filled with players that will contribute to this team right away.
Even though they didn't get a wide receiver for Lamar Jackson.
I'm okay with that. Linderbaum will be their starting center for a long time in front of Lamar Jackson. I love what Eric DeCosta and the Baltimore Ravens did.
B-Mac.
I'm going with an individual, guys. Desmond Ridder. I know he was mad about where he got drafted, the spot. But the actual team is ideal for him. He's not forced into action, but you better believe the window of opportunity is there for him. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Desmond become the first rookie starter at the quarterback position when you look at the other guys he was competing with as far as getting drafted high.
Look, Sam Howell also goes to Washington. Carson Wentz is there. There's some uncertainty maybe there. That's a good spot for him as well. Your winner, Ryan.
I'm going with Kansas City Chiefs. A great team. Got better. I mean, they absolutely crushed this draft. They need help on the defense. They get Trent McDuffie, come back and get George Karlaftis, 2 immediate guys who can contribute right away. Then they get Sky Moore, who can play in the slot out of Western Michigan. He can fly. Within 20 yards of the line of scrimmage, you are not going to be able to cover him. Brian Cook, the safety out of Cincinnati, transferred from Howard where he was a cornerback. He has that ability. And Josh Williams is a Fayetteville State Division II player, extremely long, extremely athletic, and finally Darren Kennard, who I thought might go on day 2, falls to day 3. Again, depth along the offensive line, played tackle at Kentucky, probably kicks inside EK for Kansas City.
All right, so 2 teams, an individual player. Your winners from the 3-day draft. You see here, Ryan likes Chiefs, gave him an A+ for a grade. Pete Prisco, his only A+ was the Ravens. And Desmond Ridder, quarterback out of Cincinnati, goes down to Atlanta where there may be opportunity now that Matt Ryan has moved on and is the guy in Indy. All right, famously, Mike Singletary said, I want winners. But not everybody can be. Somebody, some team, some pick, somewhere there's somebody that did not impress you at this draft. Pete Prisco.
Well, I'm not going to say he didn't impress me. I'm just going to say he's a big loser because it cost him a lot of money. Malik Willis, a lot of people thought he would be a first-round pick. He ended up going in the 3rd round to the Tennessee Titans. Now, having said that, this could ultimately turn from loser to winner because it might be a good situation for him. I don't think he was ready to play quarterback right away. If he had gone to a team that was quarterback needy, they would have rushed him, thrown him in there, and I don't think he was ready for that. Now he gets to play behind Ryan Tannehill, learn to play quarterback in the National Football League, get valuable reps in the preseason. I think he's a loser from where he went, but ultimately this could turn out to be a win for him.
Well, my biggest loser had nothing to do with the draft. He was not out here in Vegas with us. He wasn't participating with the team. He was actually at home just chilling, having a good offseason day, and that's Lamar Jackson. He's my biggest loser because the Baltimore Ravens traded away one of his key assets at the wide receiver position in Hollywood Brown. But get this, instead of addressing the wide receiver position, they went out and loaded back up at the tight end position. They got 2 tight ends, by the way, who I both love. But is that a significant need for the Baltimore Ravens? The one knock on the Baltimore Ravens offense has been the inability to create big plays at the wide receiver spot. And once again, with all the picks they had in the 3rd day, 6 picks in today's draft, not one wide receiver was selected. So that has to be a big-time knock on the organization when you look at the quarterback. So sorry, Lamar, you're my biggest loser today.
You think Aaron Rodgers called Lamar Jackson and said, hey, yo, this is how it feels?
Yeah. And this is how you deal with the disappointment?
So I'm going to go with the team, and I don't want to call them losers, but I am curious about some of the decisions they made. The Seattle Seahawks. So at pick 41, they had 2 picks in the 2nd round, pick 40, pick 41. They take Ken Walker, the running back out of Michigan State, who I love. But again, do you need a running back that high if you're the Seattle Seahawks and have a ton of needs? And then if you look at this list here, this graphic, not a single quarterback. Now, we talked about quarterbacks as the landing spot in Seattle for weeks. And, Pete, you mentioned some Sam Howell buzz potentially. It never materialized. And Sam Howell
certainly had enough opportunities to pull the trigger on
a
him.
ton of opportunities. So these are a lot of good players that will help this team. Charles Cross is probably of the top three guys. He's a great player, but he's probably the least effective run blocker. He can get better at it for sure. But I just have questions about why Kenneth Walker's so high. Again, love him, but not here necessarily. We have so many other running backs. And why the decision to not give some competition to Geno Smith and Drew Lock.
All right, so there you go. Same type of thing when you're looking at it. This time it's two players, both quarterbacks and a team, as taking a look at the people that, well, maybe didn't have the best 3 days if you're looking at it. Again, Malik Willis, some people thought he was going to go top 10 overall, goes in the third round at Tennessee. Ryan didn't like what the Seahawks did overall. And BMAC says, Lamar Jackson, you didn't have a lot of wide receivers and you traded really the best one away, and there was no plan B here. So we shall see how this all unfolds. Draft over from Vegas.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.